what's up guys? I just wanted to make a quick video on a build that I put together that's pretty strong for early game and getting through the content and the campaign. This is actually a modified version of my main build on my main character, so for those who may need some help or tips and tricks getting through the content and maybe just needing help with a build direction or whatever it may be. So I'm going to go through my build here. I'm going to show you what to prioritize on as far as items, the Zodiac trees, the skill runes, all that stuff. So let's get into it. I'm going to do the items first. So I'll go over, this is a piercing arrow build. The first thing you want to make sure that you're prioritizing is a decent bow. So when you find bows out in the world, you want to find something that's, the highest tier that you can. And the two stats you want to be looking for on the bow is the two most important things are the attack percent damage and attack speed. As long as it has those two, score, you're in there. Also a bonus would be like flat attack damage, as you can see I have on this one. So that's a very ideal bow. So I was happy that I rolled that. Just makes your life easier. Lots of damage, you'll see. The helmet, just with the rest of the gear, pretty much you want to prioritize like HP and resistances as far as you can, just so you're tanky. You're going to be doing a lot of damage anyway, so if you can survive, hey, that's the goal. So on this, I did roll percent physical damage, some more resistances, armor, chest piece, more HP and resistances. Like I said, that's pretty much the standard on all the things getting through the early game. More resistances, more HP, the longer you live. Helps getting through the content. So on the gloves, the big one is attack speed. Attack speed you want to have pretty much always on your gloves. As long as it has attack speed, all the rest of the stats are just kind of like whatever. Like I said, you want to look for HP and resistances as well. So if you can get all those things, bonus. If not, hey, don't worry about it. It's not a huge thing, but I just want to give you guys kind of like a guide on what you should be looking for on all your gear. On boots, I always prioritize movement speed just so I'm faster. I can get out of the way of attacks and things. This one did roll movement speed and projectile damage, which is ideal. And then a couple more resistances with the quiver, attack speed, and then more resistances. You can see I have 3 resistances on this one. So attack speed is number 1, and then probably just resistances. I did roll percent damage against debuffed enemies, which I do debuff them. I'll show you how I do that in a minute here. I rolled physical damage on this as well. This is the most important thing probably on if you find a percent physical damage amulet, you want to hopefully try to roll another physical damage on it. You can see I have here another 22%, and then HP, sadness, I didn't get any resistances, but that's okay. With the belt, I just rolled a dex one, and it has mana potion cooldown just for the extra mana sustain, which is nice. And then some more HP again. With the rings, I do have both flat physical damage rings, which is pretty nice. Those are what you want to be looking for. And then also attack speed on both rings is the number 1 priority. And then hopefully some HP and resistances. Once again, as you can see, I have almost 2,000 life at level 40. So I'm pretty tanky with this build. I do a ton of damage. I'll go over the skills now, the main runes, and I made this build as simple as I possibly could. You can pretty much buy all of this from the vendors. I was using spread shot at the beginning of the game until you get to Act 4. So use spread shot until you get to Act 4, and then you can switch your build over to piercing arrow. I just re-leveled up a brand new one. You can convert this into your piercing arrow however you want to do it. It does cost a bit of mats. So with the runes, I do have piercing arrow. And then how I'm debuffing enemies, I have it linked. You have to have a red link here with spell activation on hit. So you want to have a red link into spell activation on hit, and then a red link on the top of what you link it to. And I have mine linked to lightning chain. And I shock enemies, which debuffs them. And you can see here I do have it blue, so I get 10% damage amplification against shocked enemies. So when I shock enemies, it debuffs them, and I'm doing amplified damage, which is multiplicative damage. It's not additive. So that's huge damage. And you can get all this from just buying it from the vendor in the different towns. I also have quick attack, additional physical damage, and attack damage increase. The one rune that I am using right here that you have to use synthesis for is persistence, which it's not huge important. You don't need this. You can get through just fine on 4 links or even 3 links. If you only have 3 links, then you can take out one of these. I would keep quick attack. That's one really important, and so is the spell activation on hit with the lightning chain. You can just get rid of one of these even with 3 links. So whatever links you have, just work around with. You'll be able to get more links later on. And this you have to get through synthesis. You have to just synthesize just any 3 runes and hope to get lucky in the alchemy. So I do have the persistence, but it's not necessary. You don't need it for the build, so don't freak out if you don't have it. The rest of these you can buy from the vendor, the Pauline, and the rune shop. So all these are very easily attainable. I am using roll, which I think is the best movement ability in the game. I have use count on it. And then for my buff ability, I'm using marksman with increased duration. So that's just the main skill setup for now. Pretty easy to get all this stuff, so I wanted to make this build as easy as possible for anybody starting out in the game, making this build as easily attainable as possible. So now I'll go over my Zodiacs. For the Zodiac tree, I'll just reset it and I'll go over it with you as I do it, so there's no confusion, no complication. I'll just reset my trait, which I can do for free. You can reset all of your traits in this game until you beat the last boss in Act 10. So for the first one, you want to start with this. I took all these except for 1 attack speed. So I'm taking 7 nodes here in the first tree. In this second tree, I'm going forest right here, the tree one. The whole top row. I am not taking this damage. I want to save that node. You may be able to come back to this and take it later, but for now I need that extra node. And so that's tier 2 and forest. Tier 3, you want to take the top row for the extra tankiness, more health. Resistances are cool, but like I said, you're rolling a lot of the resistances on your gear, so you just want more health and survivability with the health. And then in 5, you want to go this first one, take the projectile damage, and you're going to take area of effect. You would think maybe dot because it does do bleed damage, but you're going to be one-shotting everything. You won't need it, and the area of effect actually increases the range of your lightning chain. So it'll extend farther out. You don't have to get as close to enemies, which is very nice to stay away from all the damage. And now we'll go into the specialization. We are going to be going into the shade tree. We're going to take this damage right here. And then if you have some barrier, maybe these 2 extra nodes right here will be okay to take. But for now, I'm just going to take more damage and movement speed, skill recovery, cooldown recovery speed, just for the more damage. And then you could also just skip out on the damage and take an extra roll if you want. Or you can really go wherever you want with the last 2 here. But this is what I'm doing for the extra damage and then just the cooldown. And then I have 5 more slots, so I'm going to go to 5 here. And then I'm going to take all the way over to the HP and physical damage. And that's pretty much where you want to be when you get to 40. You want to get to this specialization and the amplification. You can't see it because of my camera right now, but the strike damage amplification on this is huge. And then for later, when you finally open this tree, you want to go into the second one. And then come over to this strike damage amplification. So when you're leveling up past 40, the next thing you want to be looking for is this strike damage amplification. So you're going to take this one, this one, this one, all the way over to the strike damage amplification. And then you're going to take these 2 as well, because you're not going to worry about critting. So you're taking 20% strike damage amplification here, more damage, and you're coming all the way over to here. So you're taking all these and then right here. This is going to be huge for your damage. So within 3 levels of getting this, you'll be able to go boom, 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 and you'll have 20% strike damage amplification, which is multiplicative damage. Huge, amazing damage. You're going to see such an increase. It's amazing. So don't worry about crit rate, crit damage, none of that stuff. This will be more than enough damage for anything that you might want to get through. And that's pretty much the basics of all the build here, the runes, the Zodiacs and all that. Just make sure you're prioritizing all that health and tankiness, the resistances on all the gear, and you'll, I think, have a really good time with this build. So with that, that's pretty much the whole build for now. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it, as much as I did when I'm still going through the leveling process on my second character. I'm having a great time. So if you found it helpful and you enjoyed the build, please leave a like and subscribe. It would really help out the channel a lot. Also, if you have any questions on this build, I do stream almost every single day on Twitch, so feel free to come on by. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Just come in if you need any help with the build or questions, or maybe even help killing a boss. I always love to help all the viewers or anybody who may come in. We have a great time in there if you just want to hang out and, you know, grind with me. It's always a good time, so I would really love to see you guys in there too. Feel free to stop by and say hello. With that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I love you guys long time. See ya.